Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the debut record from Next Cemetery, Born in a Coffin, out October 9th on Reaper Entertainment. The album has 8 tracks, 39 minutes in length. I was really surprised by the structure of this album, considering that this band plays classic heavy metal and they really have an old school feel to the way they construct the songs and to the way they sound. To have an album with this structure was a little bit out of the box. I felt that first of all, they did a wonderful job alternating tracks in order to create a bumpy ride from the first song to the last song. So this is not an album that has peaks and valleys, it just has some speed bumps along the way. But the other aspect of the album structure is that it feels that it gains momentum as the album progresses. The songs feel like they're getting bigger, more powerful, they have more volume, more heaviness, faster tempos as the album progresses. So the last songs on the record, I felt they were the stronger songs on the album. Interesting approach, and perhaps an approach that allows the listener at the end of the record to go back to the beginning again, because it finishes on such a high note. It finishes with such strong songs that you just don't want to walk away at the end of the record. You just wanted to listen to it again to get that experience going and to feel that dynamic mechanism that the record has to offer, and really allowing you to grow with the album as you move from the first song all the way to the last song. So interesting approach, outside the box, considering the overall sound and the overall construction of the tracks and how they're delivered. Now, when you go into the sound of this album, to me there are 2 elements that are absolutely predominant in the overall construction of the soundscape for this record, and that is the bass and the guitars. I really want to touch on the bass first because I'm a huge fan of bass and hearing the bass on a metal record, and on this album you're going to hear it a lot. They really allow the bass to not be hidden in the mix, to have a predominant role within the songs, and to really allow itself to come into the forefront and to shine a little bit and show what it can do. Creates a lot of grooviness, creates a lot of melody, but it also helps the drums to create a perfect bass line in which upon you can build every other thing that you need to create dynamic tracks, to create a strong sounding record. The guitars are very interesting. More often than not, they have that old school approach, very clear, very clean, very driven, very melodic, but they also attach themselves to the drums at times to create a little bit more heaviness, to create a little bit more substance, to give the songs a bigger volume. So the alternating of styles, the alternating of approaches works really well for the band, works really well for this album, and really gives this record a very diverse soundscape across all 8 tracks, but one that's very well matched when you look at all the different elements that it has to offer. The guitars are definitely one of those elements that binds everything else together, that brings everything else into shape and allows the songs to be as robust as they are. Vocally, the album is strong. I like the vocal delivery, I like the tone. I just wish at times that they expanded upon it a little bit more. I felt, once again, as you get to the bottom of the record, not only the songs are stronger, vocally they're stronger as well. They're stronger musically, but they're also stronger vocally. And I wanted some of that essence that we get from the last 2 songs of the record to be perhaps a little bit more present throughout the whole album. I just felt that sometimes there was a little bit of a holding back, a little bit of feeling containment, wanting to stay within certain boundaries and not trying to experiment too much. I wish they had taken a little bit more gambles. I understand it's a debut record, you really want to stay within your lane and create a solid album top to bottom, musically and vocally, so you want to stay within your comfort zone. But I felt like we could have gotten a little bit more, so that's perhaps something that they can look down the road to the next album. But on this album, they kind of left me wanting more, even though I really enjoyed the vocals, I really enjoyed the tone, and I really enjoyed the delivery. Overall, this is a very interesting album. Once again, we have to keep in mind that this is a debut record. So for a debut record to sound this good, to have this interesting of an overall album structure, and to be really well put together, really well crafted, and really well delivered is something to say about the band and the musicianship of the band members. I really enjoyed the album, and for the fans of the genre, for the fans of heavy metal, classic heavy metal, this album is definitely going to find a home in your hearts. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I want to start off with Banging in the Grave, a song that features Chris from Gravedigger, and I thought that was such a great track to have him on because this song has a little bit of the Gravedigger DNA built into it. Has a nice tempo, nice melody. The duality of the vocals really creates a diversity throughout the track. And the chorus is just really impactful because you have some vocal layers that adds a lot of volume, not necessarily heaviness, but it adds a lot of volume in how the song comes across. It makes the chorus bigger, it makes it more memorable, it just makes it a little bit more hooky, a little bit more catchy, which is something they do across almost every single song on this album. They have a way of creating really hooky and really catchy choruses with the simplicity of the lyrics and then how they deliver them. This song also has an incredible guitar solo. It really adds a lot of energy to the track. It actually blows the lid off the track, if you will. But overall, the vocals, the duality of the vocals, having two vocalists on this track, and then obviously the great tempo that the track has, those two are the winning combination that really puts this song over the top. Next, The Creed. This is my favorite song on the album. It's perhaps the faster, the one that has the highest level of octane and adrenaline built into it. The vocals are also the ones that really push this track forward. They really elevate the track, if you will. The sound just kind of reinforces it. The way the music comes together reinforces it, but I really felt that the vocals were always erupting. They were always pushing the sound upwards and pushing it all the way up to the top. And I love that. The chorus is absolutely glorious. Once again, another track that has a very bombastic, a very hooky and catchy choruses. The vocals have a lot of melody. They add some volume. Once again, they used vocal layers in the chorus in order to create that volume, that presence. Not adding necessarily heaviness to the track, just adding more volume, making the song feel bigger. I love the chorus. Simple, catchy, hooky. It's just straight to the point. It's easy to remember. It's easy to sing along. It doesn't matter if you listen to this song for the first time or for the 10th time. You're going to be singing along to this chorus, and that is always a winning formula for any song that has this sort of structure between verses and choruses. Very straightforward, very dynamic, very fluid. There's not much of a difference between the two as far as music is concerned. The vocals is really what creates the change. There's also a very interesting bridge on this song, and you get a narrator style vocalist coming in that really expands on the lyrical content, on the story that this song holds within its lyrics. I like that because it makes that portion of the song feel and sound a lot darker than everything else around it. Everything that came before, it felt very bright, it filled with life, and then this portion brings the mood down, becomes a little bit darker. But then the song goes back to the chorus, so it gains light again, it gains life, it gains momentum, and the song goes full circle. It finishes off as strong as how it started. That middle bridge really resets the track. It gives you a different glimpse at the song, but it plays really well off the lyrics and the story that they're telling you with this track. Last but not least, Sisters of Battle. This is the last song on the album, and to me, this is the anthem of the record. Such a great track from a lyrical perspective, great storytelling, and then from the way they created the music and they put it all together, really made this a very bombastic, a very strong song all around. The lyrics are telling you a story, but the music is creating the soundtrack for that story. The most epic song on the record, like I said, an absolute metal anthem through and through. The chorus is heavy, is melodic, is hooky. The drums add a lot of heaviness, the guitars add a lot of melody, and then the lyrics and the way the vocals transport those lyrics to the forefront make it very hooky, a very catchy and interesting delivery. Love this song. I love the big picture, the cinematic aspect that this track has. What a way of finishing this album. This is it, guys. This is Next Cemetery with Born in a Coffin, out October 9th on Reaper Entertainment. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.